Welcome to Patch Notes, the show where we take real history and file it away the way it should have been filed the whole time, as a changelog. Today's build is version 1.0, the bugs that shipped anyways. 4 times in the arcade era pushed a game out, kind of out the door with a glitch baked straight into the cartridge and just kind of left there. Some got shipped by accident, some got warshipped. One of them, Nintendo's own designer, looked at it, shrugged, and basically said, yeah, that's a feature now. None of these are myths. Every one is documented in the code down to the byte. I checked. Let's read the notes. Space Invaders, 1978. Taito, you know the one? Rows of aliens marching down, you shoot up, and you know the thing that's famous for really is kind of the aliens speeding up. How do you describe it? The more you kill, the faster the survivors move until the last one is screaming across the screen like it owes somebody money. For decades, everyone assumed that was a brilliant design, escalating tension. The game getting more desperate as you win. Genius. However, it's not by design. It's the processor giving up. The whole game ran on an Intel 8080, a chip with about 5,000 transistors, doing every single thing at once, moving 55 aliens, drawing them, checking whether or not you hit them. At the start of a level, that's a mountain of work, and the chip is buried in it. So the aliens crawl, but every time you kill one, that's one less thing to draw, one less thing to check, and the processor gets a little breathing room. Fewer aliens, less work, faster frames. So, that frame goes up, and that last alien isn't angry at all. It's just the only thing left for the chip to think about, so it's running flat out as fast as it can. Here's the lock. The part that seals it, people have gone into the original source code. There's no line that speeds the alien up. No difficulty curve, no timer, nothing. The single most influential mechanic in the early gaming time, the thing that arguably invented the difficulty curve, is a hardware bottleneck that designer Tomohiro Nishikato noticed and decided just to keep it. Patch status won't fix it because it was never broken and it was just better that way. So, filed. And next, we have Super Mario Bros. NES 1985. World is 1 to 2, the most played level in the most played game in the generation, essentially, was that of Super Mario Brothers. And if you know exactly where to stand, it has a hole in reality in it. Here's the setup, and stay with me because it's beautiful for those who haven't done it. Every warp zone in Mario works by reading the little number posted above each pipe. Pipe says 4, game sends you to world 4. Simple. In world 1 to 2, the game loads those numbers the moment you walk up to the gap in the ceiling to enter the warp room. So what happens if you get into that room without walking to the gap? You clip through the wall, crouch, jump backwards into the bricks, and exactly at the right angle, a Mario slides straight through the solid level, and a physics oversight that nobody caught allows you to get away with it. And because you never triggered the part that loads that warp number, the game falls back on a leftover default. You drop down to the first pipe expecting world, whatever you went for, and instead the screen reads, world -1, except this is my favorite detail about the entire episode, by the way. It's not -1. There's no such thing as a negative world. Internally, the game thinks you're in world 36. It just doesn't have a symbol to draw the number 36. So it prints a blank space where the number should go. Blank space, then a 1. Your brain reads that empty gap as a minus sign, and the most famous glitch in gaming history is named after a typo your own eyes committed to. So the world itself, it's a copy of an underwater level, except the pipe at the end, the one that's supposed to take you out, just loops you back to the start. Forever. An endless water level with no exit. Nintendo basically said, or Nintendo Power basically ran it in 1988 and called it a world from which no one has ever escaped. Now here's the changelog gold, though. Years later, someone asked the man who made Mario about the minus world. Did you build this? And he said, no, not intended. A glitch. Then he added, since it doesn't crash the game, it's kind of a feature now too. So the whole show, right there, a man looking at his own accident, choosing to be proud of it. You know that bug? Yeah, that's fine. Patch status then, I guess, is shipped, worshipped, and named after nothing. Filed. Galaga 1981 Namco, sequel to Galaxian, the one with the ship that swoops down and the gorgeous curving dives. Brutal game, by the way. People tap out around stage 11. Unless you know the secret. And the secret is you can convince the entire enemy team to stop shooting for the rest of the game. Here's how, and I'll give you the beautiful reason why. On the first stage, you kill everything except the two little bees enemies down in the little corner. Then you wait, and you just dodge. You wait some more, 10, 15 minutes, and while you're surviving, two bugs are going to be diving at you. Pure patience. And then one pass, they dive, and they don't fire. They don't fire ever again. None of them. Not anything. Not for the entire rest of the run. For years, nobody knew if this was a cheat. Someone at Namco hid it on purpose, but they kind of guessed it was a genuine bug. So in 2005, a guy named Chris Cantrell pulled apart the actual game code to find out, and what he found was perfect. Galaga can only have like 8 enemies, bullets on the screen at once. Hard limit, 8 slots reserved for the shots only. Now, the graphics hardware has no off switch for a sprite. If the game needs to hide one, it can't just delete it. It just shoves it off the side of the screen to horizontal position 0. Basically, that magical place off screen where nobody updates it and nobody sees it. So you can see where this is going. With those last 2 bees start their last late game swooping pattern, they sometimes fire a shot at the exact instant they are passing through position 0, the hiding spot. And, well, the bullet fired into the hiding spot never came back. It just sits there, off screen, counted as active, but frozen forever. Do that a few times and filling all 8 bullet slots with the ghost stuck in the void, if you will. And, well, it thinks it's got a full clip in the air at all times, but it can't ever fire again. There's just no ammo left. It's all trapped in the corner universe. The aliens didn't calm down at any point in time. They just simply ran out of ammo. One thing, though, because it's very interesting, doing this disqualifies you from the score of world records. I guess that's fair, right? So the most famous exploit in the game is also the fastest way to get your score, or, well, your high score, really, thrown into the trash. There you go. That's filed. Let's talk about Pac-Man, though. 1980 Namco, the most successful arcade game ever made, and it does not have an ending, not a secret ending, not a hard ending, no ending, because it was designed to go forever. And forever, it turns out, has a hard stop nobody planned for. Every level in Pac-Man keeps account of which round you're on. They're stored in, a single byte. And a byte, 8 bits, can only count up to 255. That's the ceiling, the highest number that fits. Now, at the start of every level, the game draws those little fruit icons in the bottom corner, the cherries, the strawberries, to show how far you've gotten. And to do that, it takes your level up and adds 1. Level 5 draws 6 fruit. Fine. Works every single time until you get to level 256. The game takes the level number, which is now sitting at the maximum, 255, and adds 1. At 255 plus 1 in a byte doesn't become 256. There's nowhere to put it. It rolls over to 0. So the fruit drawing routine gets handed as 0 and has no idea what to do with that 0. So it's never really written that. So what does it do? It freaks out. It starts grabbing whatever random data happens to be sitting nearby in memory and drawing that to the screen as if it were the fruit. That's the garbage, pretty fun, crazy stuff that's going on the screen. That's the wall of scrambled letters and symbols that eats the right half of the maze. You're not looking at a corrupted picture. You're watching the game read its own memory out loud and paint it on the wall. And that's not just ugly, it's fatal. To clear the level of Pac-Man, you have to eat 244 dots, but the corruption swallows the entire right half of the maze. And most dots you can physically reach on the broken board drops around 130 on average. So the game is still demanding 244. The exit requirement is now a number that the level can no longer contain. You can run around that broken maze for the rest of your life. It will never let you finish. This is the kill screen. The players who can reach it legitimately, no cheating, hours and hours deep, they're not chasing a win because there isn't one. They're chasing the perfect game. Every dot, every ghost, every bonus, all the way to the exact pixel where the machine falls apart. The magic number is 3,333,360 points. Do that and you've done literally everything Pac-Man will ever let you do. The reward for perfection is a wall of destructive noise. Patch status, though, never fixed, never could be, because it isn't a mistake in the game. It's the moment the game runs out of room to keep being a game. So there you have it. There's version 1.0. 4 games, 4 accidents, 0 of them patched, and a processor too tired to keep up. A door made of typo, an army that fired all of its bullets into nowhere, a hero who eats until the math gives out. Here's the thing that stuck with me while making this, though. We treat a bug like it's an insult, that it's a bad thing, but every one of these outlived the game it broke. Nobody remembers a clean level of Space Invaders. Everybody remembers the alien that wouldn't slow down. The best glitches don't get fixed, they get famous. This is a series, so I want you to know the issues. Drop the weirdest, I guess, the weirdest bug that became a feature that you know about and you've seen down in the comments. Any game, any era. The best ones get filed straight into version 1.1. Real changelog, your reports. I've been Konshu, patch notes closed. See you in the next build.